Collaborations between legendary musicians often produce some of the most memorable moments in rock history, but they can also be fraught with tension, creative differences, and unexpected challenges. One such collaboration occurred in the 1980s when Dire Straits worked with the iconic Bob Dylan on his album Infidels, 1983. While the partnership yielded some remarkable tracks, it was not without its difficulties. In a recent interview, Pick Withers, the original drummer of Dire Straits, reflected on his experience working with Dylan, describing one particular moment as a bit horrendous. His insights provide a rare glimpse into Dylan's studio behavior, creative process, and the sometimes unpredictable nature of recording with a music legend. This article explores Withers' recollections, the dynamics between Dire Straits and Dylan, and how the collaboration shaped the sound of Infidels. Before diving into the studio tensions, it's essential to understand how Dire Straits and Bob Dylan's paths crossed. By the early 1980s, Dire Straits had risen to fame with hits like Sultans of Swing and Romeo and Juliet, earning a reputation for their tight musicianship and Mark Knopfler's distinctive guitar work. Bob Dylan, already a living legend, was in a phase of artistic reinvention. After his gospel period in the late 70s and early 80s, he sought a return to secular rock music with Infidels. Dylan admired Knopfler's guitar style and invited him to produce the album. Knopfler, in turn, brought in his Dire Straits bandmates, including Pick Withers, to contribute to the recordings. In the interview, Withers recounted an incident that stood out as particularly challenging. There was one moment where Bob just stopped everything and said, "No, that's not it," and he couldn't really explain what he wanted. We did take after take, and it was getting frustrating. It was a bit horrendous, to be honest. This moment highlights a common struggle when working with Dylan, his unpredictable and perfectionist tendencies. Unlike Dire Straits, who were known for their precise, polished sound, Dylan often thrived on spontaneity and rawness. Why was it so difficult? Dylan's indefinable vision. Dylan was known for being vague about what he wanted, often rejecting takes without clear direction. Different work ethic. Dire Straits were meticulous in the studio, whereas Dylan preferred loose, organic sessions. Pressure of working with a legend. The weight of Dylan's legacy may have added tension, making the musicians second-guess themselves. Withers admitted that despite the frustrations, he respected Dylan's genius. He's a one-off, a true original. You just have to adapt to his way of working, even if it's not what you're used to. Beyond the difficult moments, Withers shared intriguing insights into Dylan's demeanor during the Infidels sessions. Dylan was quiet and focused. Unlike the boisterous energy of some rock stars, Dylan was reserved and introspective. He rarely engaged in small talk, instead immersing himself in the music. He trusted Knopfler's judgment. Since Knopfler was producing, Dylan gave him significant creative freedom. However, he would occasionally interject with abrupt changes, keeping everyone on their toes. Spontaneous revisions. Dylan was notorious for rewriting lyrics or altering arrangements on the spot. This kept the sessions dynamic but also unpredictable. No nostalgia, only forward motion. Withers noted that Dylan never looked back. He wasn't interested in playing his old hits or reminiscing. His focus was entirely on creating something new. Despite the challenges, Infidels remains one of Dylan's most acclaimed 1980s albums. Tracks like Joker Man and Sweetheart Like You showcase the Knopfler-Dylan chemistry, blending Dire Straits' crisp instrumentation with Dylan's poetic lyricism. However, the collaboration also had its missed opportunities. Dylan scrapped several tracks, including Blind Willie McTell, now considered a masterpiece. The album's production, though polished, sometimes clashed with Dylan's raw aesthetic. Withers acknowledged that while the process was tough, the results were ultimately rewarding. When it clicked, it was magical, but getting there wasn't always easy. Pick Withers' reflections offer a fascinating look at the clash and fusion of two musical worlds. Dire Straits brought precision, while Dylan brought chaos. Yet from that tension came something memorable. Great collaborations often require compromise. Even legends like Dylan have difficult moments in the studio. The best music sometimes comes from friction. For fans of both artists, Infidels remains a testament to what happens when two distinct musical forces collide, sometimes messy, but often brilliant. Would Dire Straits and Dylan work together again? Probably not in the same way. But as Wither's story shows, the experience was unforgettable, for better and for worse. As Dylan himself once sang, "He not busy being born is busy dying." In the studio, that restless creativity was both a gift and a challenge for those around him.